everybody. How's it going? I got a new do. I got a new attitude. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Welcome to Quilt Nerd. Oh, I'm not, I don't know how things go yet. I'm still getting used to it. But, as they say in the UK, I got a fringe. You know, that's what they call bangs. But see, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. You know, when you get your haircut and it's new, you just, you know, you have to do it yourself, right? So, but my guy, Day, he's great. So I hope you like it. Hey, Eva, you know what? I'm going to do a little sound effect for you because on the show listen, Stephanie.
That's what I do.
Oh.
I invented post-its.
Sorry. It's a crack up over here. Steph, on the show on Saturday, I think it was, or was it Tuesday that I said, like, Eva always asks me what kind of chips I'm eating. So it's going to be the Eva chip report. That was Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was Tuesday.
So Eva, this is your chip report. I'm going to get a sound effect that I can play that's like, your chip report is that I'm eating these tonight. If you never watched Quilt Nerd before, I don't know. I eat chips, I drink wine. It's just kind of the thing I have to do. I'm superstitious about it at this point, and it's enjoyable to eat chips and drink wine and be with my friends and talk about quilts. And have I got a show for you? Let me tell you, Stephanie Cake is back. Thank God. You know what? No, listen. Hold on. I said thank God. Like, Robin killed it, Steph. She killed it. Could we give it up for Biscuit? My friend Robin, she was fabulous. And you know that, right? But like...
Yes, and I haven't had a chance to listen yet to Saturday because I've been busy, but I knew Bisky had my back.
Bisky had your back. She did a great job. And you know, it was a different kind of show because really I felt more like an MC because if you didn't tune in on Saturday, it was the second anniversary of Quilt Nerd. We've been hanging out together and doing this for a couple years now. And the friends that we made, and we talked about that all last week, that we have this community and wonderful things have come from this community and people are so interesting. So you know that. So hopefully so we can, just be like normal nerds now and like do what we do best, which is nerd out on stuff, which is my favorite kind of show. But last week we were able to sort of celebrate like all the things we've done this year. And I don't know, it was impossible to even try because a lot has happened. But last week I felt more like an MC, right? Directing the giveaways and doing things. And so tonight, I mean, the show tonight, like if you think you're a quilt nerd, well, you're a very lucky person because tonight is really interesting. Would you agree, Steph? The little sneak peek you got? It's pretty interesting, huh?
I am almost speechless. It's going to be so interesting. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
And that's what Steph said. She was like, I cannot wait to talk about this on the show to see what people have to say. So if that tempts you a little bit, that's good. If you've never seen the show before, this is Quilt Nerd. We don't teach you how to make quilts on this show. There's so much great content that will teach you how to make quilts. This is for learning about the culture of quilts and the history of them. But it's, I told somebody today, I was talking to Mike actually, Steph, this was interesting. I was talking to Mike at Quilt Folk, where I've worked for 9 years. Do you know that? 9 years at Quilt Folk. That's crazy.
9 years.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know, because wait, is that right? 2016, right? No, that's 7 years. It hasn't been around. I've been with it since it was 2016. Anyway, I came on as a writer like the year he started. 2016. Yeah, okay. So it's not 9 years. It's whatever. It's a long time. It feels like a long time. So, and a short time as well. But I was talking to Mike and I was like, the thing is about Quilt Nerd is it's actually not about history. It's a show. like it's a live TV show basically, and it's not, it is about history of course, but it's not like a history show. Like if we just looked at I don't know Civil War quilts only or something, like the quilt behind me changes every show, and tonight this is a piece of work by Sam Gilliam, and he made it in 1975, and it's got a quilt in it. And so that's it. That's in a contemporary art museum. I don't know if it's at MoMA. We'll learn and figure that out. But like this show is about quilt culture, and so we talk about all of those things, what it means to make them and what it means to have one of them, what it means to inherit one of them, all these things, where quilts are in our culture and what they mean to us. And I just saw a first-time chatter, and I got to give a shout-out because it's so bright on my screen, right, when somebody chats for the first time, and it's so important to say hello. Queen o' Wands. Queen of Wands, it's so great to see you. Hello, nerds. First time joining. I'm so excited to be here. You know what? Welcome baskets in the chat for Queen of Wands, and if you see those little welcome baskets, those are for you, Queen, and we're so glad you're here. This is an amazing group of people. There are people who engage in the chat, and these are the people we love, and we also love the people in the Lurker Lounge. The people in the Lurker Lounge, they're cool. They're the kids like smoking the cigarettes, wearing their Ray-Bans, in the back of the bleachers. They're tuning in, but they, they're good. They don't get involved. We love them all, and Wald, I got your card today. Thank you very, very much. I love being here, and I am so happy that we're gonna go into this for the next, I don't know, however long. Probably do it till because it's my favorite thing. Okay, so. I saw Kelly and Rebecca Bradbird. Oh my God, I love it. You love my hair. Rebecca loves my hair. That's great. A Nunmaker's here, and Mother Nature, and Padma is here. You like the fringe, girl. And Padma, you subscribed at tier 2. Thank you so much for subscribing. You've been subscribed for almost a year. If you're chatting for the first time, or Sadie tries subscribed for Prime, you've been subscribed for 17 months. Good to see you. You can take your custom emojis out for a spin. The different tiers that you subscribe at, you get to use different little signs and symbols and things, and it's a lot of fun. Jill is here, and Joyce, and Dee Dee. Feandor's coming in with the music. God bless you. God bless you. You know what? Looking good. Looking good with that music, Feandor. Ellerhold is back. It's great to see you. The music was skipping, maybe. Mother Nature. Michelle says, glad for a distraction from the political arguments. I haven't looked, and I don't want to. So we won't. I promise to distract you from that. Okay, so to everybody who I haven't said hi to yet, I am so glad you're here. Earth Girl Now, thank you so much for subscribing. You've been subscribed for 18 months. You love the new Deuce. Drink Wine and Solin, you've been subscribed for a whole year at tier 1. Your support means everything. It makes us able to do more stuff. The more people subscribe, the more stuff we can do, and I really want to do stuff. So Dee Dee Brew Crew, thank you so much for subscribing at tier 2. You've been subscribed for 20 months. Okay. Let's talk about this intro quilt and get right into the content tonight, okay? Here we go. Let me get small. And help, I'm small. Oh no. Oh yeah, I've got kind of a limited green screen tonight because I still haven't figured out the new setup, Cake, with the new office. It's I don't know. There's stuff to figure out. Anyway, and by the way, Stephanie Cake, how was your trip? Just as I'm kind of setting a few things up here, tell me. You went camping.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I wasn't actually camping. I was
that's right.
in a state park.
Saying that.
No, it's fine. I was in a state park. I was lucky enough to be in a cabin, like a bunkhouse type of situation, which unfortunately did not have air conditioning, and that's kind of one of my prerequisites.
Yes, exactly.
Luckily, it was in the mountains of far western Maryland, so it cooled down at night, so it was all good.
Good.
But
good.
yeah, I did not have cell service. Like, I was surprised I wasn't going to have Wi-Fi, and then I found out I had no cell service. You guys, every time that happens to me, it gets weirder and weirder because it's so strange not to just be able to pick up your phone and like look something up or see if somebody's contacted you or...
Was it nice? I mean, everybody's always like, oh, I just, if I didn't have my phone, maybe I'd be calmer or something.
Yeah, it definitely was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knowing that nobody could reach me.
Yeah.
But it also was like, there was a few minutes where it was like kind of this like a panic inducing, and I had to remind myself, like, you lived for a lot of years with no cell phone. You're not good, like nothing bad's gonna happen, And it was just a weird experience. And it's been a while since I've been in that situation. And I feel like it gets stronger each time, that sense of like, kind of my phone.
Yeah. Because it's that much longer.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that, I rely on it so much more than I did, say, 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
Yeah, more and more of our lives are there. So, the last time you were in a state park, and or had no cell service, if it was 2 years ago, that's 2 more years of having this thing basically as an appendage at this point.
Exactly.
Right?
And the thing is, phones they get so much better constantly. Like there's not a whole lot. I mean, with the exception of some of the design stuff I do.
Mm-hmm.
I use the full-blown Adobe suite and stuff.
Right.
That's like the only thing I have to use my laptop for. Almost everything else I can do. I mean, I could join this with you on my phone.
Yep.
I could do my own stream from my phone.
Yep.
So
yeah,
it's like wearing my glasses. Like I would just be, out of sorts without them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Weird feeling.
Hold on, don't be freaked out, but I have to take a screenshot.
Your thumb was right on my face.
I know. Hold on. No, I've never done this before. Don't move a muscle. This sounds really creepy, but I promise you. Okay, hang on. Oh my God. Okay, you were so Steph was talking, and she said something, and her braid. She has these amazing long braids because she has thick, luscious hair, unlike myself. And your braid landed on your shoulder, perfectly. I had to take a screenshot. That's what I just did. It was just flip. You'll understand. You'll understand when I show you. Okay, later. Okay.
Oh, too funny.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Too funny.
So, okay.
Anyway, long story short, I missed you guys.
Yes.
Quilt Nerd, I saw you ask Catoctin. No, not Catoctin. I was in New Germany. So, farther. Hour and a half farther.
Wow.
Yeah, Maryland's a small state, but to get to the way other side of it, you have to kind of travel through West Virginia and Pennsylvania.
Well, we're glad you're back, Robin. You killed it, and we got a good crew. The show is in good shape. It is strong. The force is strong. Okay, so this quilt, and we won't spend too long. We actually have talked about Sam Gilliam before on this show. I forgot, and then when I was looking at him, I remembered. Sam Gilliam. So this piece is in the Phillips collection. So this is interesting. Let me turn the fan down just a little bit. This is a wonderful fan that changed my life. This piece is in the Phillips collection. Now, I looked up something the other day that led me to this. And what I looked up was the Philip Morris quilt collection. I wanted to know more about it. Now, if you're a OG quilt nerd, if you're in the quilt world, I know certain names out there are going to go, oh yes, the Philip Morris quilt collection or the Philip Morris art collection. I mean, the Philip Morris company, yes, of the tobacco, unless I actually didn't fact check that. I mean, that is the tobacco company, right? Philip Morris. Because it's not William Morris, the ad agency, right? So Philip Morris, they were some of these corporations in the 1980s, and certainly in the 90s. It's you had Spree, huge, right, with the Amish quilts. You had Levi's, Rod Kirikoff, who anytime, in his bio, his standard, 50-word bio, there's going to be in there that he helped the Levi's collection, or the Levi Strauss company collect quilts. And then you've got, Philip Morris, Shelley Ziegert, who is, I really, really enjoy talking to that person. I was able to talk to her recently, and there is a book, American Quilt Masterpieces. Steph, I didn't even think I was going to bring this up, but we have an Abe Links book link for it. You know that one, American Quilt Masterpieces, right? By Shelley Ziegert. And it goes through a bunch of really important collections in the United States, and we're Abe Books affiliates, so if you buy any of the used books or the out-of-print books that we talk about on the show, we get a few ducats. So use the link, see what book I'm talking about, and purchase a copy, because it's great. And in that book, I learned about Sally Jesse Raphael's quilt collection, and we watched a video of Sally Jesse Raphael talking about the AIDS quilt. We watched that on this show. That's the kind of thing we do on this show. We go to YouTube videos and we watch things together and talk about them. And so Levi's, Spree, and Philip Morris is one of these companies. So I was like, well, first of all, we play this sound whenever there's a really good fertile ground for a research project. And that's the sound. And the Philip Morris quilt collection, or the quilts that the Philip Morris company purchased. Oh, it's practically low-hanging fruit. How much fun. You know what? Listen. I got a lot of projects I want to do. I'm a busy lady, but let me tell you, if somebody doesn't jump on researching and talking to people and getting amazing pictures of photographs of the Philip Morris quilts in their art collection, if you don't do a project on that, a research project on that, you better just watch out. Because I mean, I would love to do that. I just have too many things. That's like in the hopper for me. Like that's like project 5. You know, like I got Bertha Mextroth. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. You know, but I would love to do that. Philip Morris, Levi, these corporate quilt collections, fascinating. And you got to do it now, because some of the people who worked on this stuff, they're getting up in years, and you need to talk to them before you can't, okay? That's all I'm saying. But Philip Morris has records, they have photographs, they have people who manage the archives. I'm telling you, if you are like a first-time researcher, not that I'm that far ahead of you, but like if you've never done a research project and you're like, I want to contribute to the field of quilt nerd stuff, because I really get a lot of joy out of this, and I'm retired, or I want to go back to school, or I just love this stuff so much, like why not? That would be cool. That would be like doable and researchable and interviewable. You could interview people, you don't have to dig through ancestry.com for this one. You know what I'm saying? You don't need Word and Bird Nerd to sign in blood that she will help you. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's interesting. So I was like, what is up with the Philip Morris art collection? What's the deal? Well, this is in their collection. When I put in, so it's not called the Philip Morris collection. It's the Phillips collection. That's interesting. So maybe they're distancing themselves, right? It's gotta be. Yeah, no, it is the same thing. All of a sudden I was like, oh no, is this a different art collection? But yeah, when I look in Philip Morris quilt collection or art collection, what did I do? Hang on. Lord help me. Yeah, William Morris now. Philip Morris art collection. Yeah, Philip Morris art collection. I mean, if I got this wrong, art at Philip Morris. Yeah, here's articles. Well, I'll just give you the link. How about I just give you the link? Sam Gilliam. Yeah, the Phillips collection. Here we go. So I have access to the chat, so I'm just going to pop it in the chat, Steph, because I've got it. So this is the link for the work you're looking at right now. So the Phillips collection, and this work is, it's called American Quilt number 28. It was made in 1975. It is 16 and a half by 18 and a half, so not a large piece, okay. Quilt collage and acrylic wash on handmade paper. So I don't know if this work has a quilt fabric in it, like a Sanford Biggers kind of thing, or Robert Rauschenberg did this, Ann Wilson did this kind of thing in the 1950s, and then into this, for Ann Wilson, she did it many times, but handmade paper and a quilt motif to me really makes sense. Cotton, right? Cotton and color. But yeah, Sam Gilliam made this in 1975, and he called it American Quilt number 28. And I like it a lot. And I thought it's so different from what we're going to look at next that it was perfect. And I like to have that dynamism right in the show. It's okay's here. Hey, it's okay. It's good to see you. This is Mr. Sam Gilliam, and I thought I liked this picture of him back here. Yeah, were you going to say something, Steph? I read you. I can read you.
Just mention that the center of that piece is Hearts and Gizzards. I don't know if you mentioned that. I was looking for the
I did
the
not.
link.
Did not.
It is Hearts and Gizzards, and those would be two places that cigarettes give you cancer. So, good job, Philip Morris.
You know what?
Do you guys miss me?
Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Hearts and Gizzards. You know what? That's good. You know what? Wait a minute. Why did I play that sound? This is the sound. You're right. You are right. Hearts and Gizzards. Don't smoke. Do not smoke. Smoking is terrible. Don't do it. Don't do it. It smells, it's stinky, and it's bad. So this is Sam Gilliam, and here's one other piece by him. So just this is what the Phillips Collection has to say. The Phillips Collection expresses its deepest condolences to the family and friends of Sam Gilliam. This was on the occasion of his death in 2022. We mourn the passing of a legendary person and artist whose work in abstraction energized the contemporary art movement and the Washington, D.C. art scene. The Phillips Collection cherishes our special relationship with Sam Gilliam, hosting his first museum exhibition in 1967. And they were the first museum to acquire a Gilliam painting, Red Petals, from his solo show. And they were honored to be home to a dozen of his paintings and works on paper. So it's very likely that American Quilt number 28 was a donation from him. But the New York Times obit, so he just died last year, and the New York Times obit said that he was a pioneering abstract painter, best known for his lusciously stained drape paintings, right? So you're looking at one of his lusciously stained drape paintings. And anytime somebody's using, this is probably canvas, but canvas is a textile, right? Yeah. As a black artist, he was largely ignored by the upper levels of the art world until until late in his career. Although in 1972 he became the first black artist to represent the United States at the Venice Biennale. As a black artist committed to abstraction, he devoted his life to paintings that refrained from the recognizable images and overt political messages favored by many of his black colleagues. Like Faith Ringgold, right? Like politics forefront, right? Her story quilts, like this was what it was about so often, right? Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of her work. Anyway, so he came of age in the Vietnam War. Fascinating person. Sam Gilliam, rest in peace. Thank you so much. Okay. Quick interlude. Consider this the sorbet, the cleansing of the palate. So what was I looking at? I don't know. But I guess I should do a poll. Let's do a poll. If there were, I just had an idea for merch, that's all. If there were stuff, you know what I'm going to say. We didn't talk about this, but you know what I'm going to say. If there were stud earrings available, and I actually know someone who could get them made. He actually has a jewelry business, okay? And I could do them on Etsy or whatnot. Maybe we would have to. But I'm going to do a poll. I thought I would wear stud earrings that had a Q and a backward N on it. You know what I mean? And so my poll, I'm gonna ask, and you can only participate in the poll on Twitch. So if you're not on Twitch and you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'm so glad that you're here. But you gotta vote over on Twitch. So would you buy Quilt Nerd studs? or I'll just put earrings, because there could be many styles. Okay, I would, yes is an answer. Cute, but no. And that's
What about other types of jewelry?
Oh, yes.
And then can you add one more in there?
Yes.
Seam ripper. Because on your spin-off on Monday,
yes,
there's some discussion about wanting a Quilt Nerd seam ripper.
Oh, okay, that's another poll, because
a whole nother merch
that is
opportunity.
a brilliant idea. That is brilliant. If I had one product, it was like, Mary, you can sell one product, what would it be? It would be that. Like a sticker, a logo sticker, and a seam ripper. It's brilliant. Okay, wow.
Touch base with our friend Kenny.
Excellent. So yes. So the answers are yes. I would buy Quilt Nerd earrings, and it would be a Q and an N. A Q on one ear, backward N on another ear. So the answer is yes. Cute, but no. And then what? This is a terrible idea? Like, what's the third option? Don't do this.
No way.
Yeah. Mary, no.
Some of us just don't wear jewelry.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Jewelry, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not a jewelry person. Lol. Okay. Great. Okay, let's do the poll, and I'm going to run it for 5 minutes and vote, and let me know, because I mean, I think I would totally wear a Q and an N and a backwards N on my ears. I think that would be interesting, and it would be a conversation starter. People would be like, oh, like, what are those your initials? But your name is Susan, you know? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm into quilts and like quilt history, and it's like a thing, you know. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to tell you a story now, and it is about this person and her quilt, okay? Hey gamer, hey Eat Your Coat. You know what, Eat Your Coat, you could wear, hey Amy, you wear them however you want. Wear them however you want. However you want to wear them, you wear them that way. So, okay, so the woman on the right, her name is Harriet. And the man on the left, the gentleman on the left, Vic. Okay, now I never met Vic, but I did meet Harriet once. Now, when I met Harriet, so this was on her wedding day in 1975. When I met Harriet, I met her much later in her life, and when the Chicago Tribune ran her obituary about a month ago, they ran this picture of her. So this is Harriet, and pretty sure it's Vic, in the Chicago Tribune. I don't know that this picture was very recent. I never met her husband. My point is that I met Harriet much later in her life, okay? I met Harriet because she lived in my building. And I live in apartment C on one particular floor, and she lived in apartment C on a few floors up from me. So, yeah, so we lived in the same building for a while, and she passed away a month ago, okay? Now, I met her one time at a Halloween party at the building. One of my neighbors likes Halloween, and she threw a Halloween party. She throws a Halloween party every year, and I went to it a couple times. I know that I went to it once, and then the pandemic happened, and, you know, everything was terrible. So I went to the Halloween party this particular year. The first year I was in the building, and I was nervous. I don't really particularly like parties because I just get very nervous. And I was meeting everybody I could meet, and, you know, hi, you know, I'm Mary, introducing myself to all of the people who live in the building. A lot of people had lived there for a long time. You know, I'm this quilt gal, and I tell about quilts, and it's really hard to explain what I do, and, you know, I'm not a professor, I'm not an editor right now, so it's like I'm a quilt researcher, I do a live stream, you know, it's difficult. And I actually hadn't started Quilt Nerd at that time. This is like 2019, early 2019, or late 18, anyway, whatever. So there was this lady at the party, I almost said chick, there was this chick at the party, Harriet, and I just liked her. Like, of all of the people that I met that night, I liked her. And I liked her so much that I wrote her a note after the party. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I hope it wasn't too thirsty, but I was like, Harriet, that was an amazing conversation. Like, do you want to be friends with me? Like, it was like that, you know? I was like, or I don't know if it was that, but it was like, hey, I think I would love to hang out. You know, like, I would love to. It wasn't weird. It was just like, I love.
Do you want to talk about quilts again?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. Would you buy earrings that had a Q and an N on them? Please check the box. Yeah, exactly. Do you like me? Check the box. But it was chill. It was chill, but it was like, that was great. And if you want to chat anytime, like, say the word. And I slipped it under her door. Maybe it was weird because I never heard from her. But I went to London. Of course, there wasn't like a note under my door when I came back, but she was ill, and she was older, and it was the pandemic, you know. So I never did connect with Harriet more, unfortunately, okay? Because there was just something about her. And I got to tell you, I didn't know. We talked for a little while, but like we didn't get really super deep into it. And she was retired, and she was telling me maybe what she was doing lately. I didn't know who this person was, and I'm going to tell you who she was. And she was a force of nature. And she told me when we talked that she had some quilts, or she was interested in the quilt thing, right? Well, my building engineer, Rick, who I love, who was like the uncle I never had, okay? Rick. He's worked at the building for 36 years, Rick. He's seen it all. He's done it all. And the other day he said, he installed a window air conditioning unit in the bedroom. It's so hot in my apartment. We don't have central air. We could get it one day maybe, but he put in the air conditioning, and he called me. He called me later that night to check and see if it was working. And you know what he said? I swear to God, it's one of the nicest things anybody has ever said to me. He said, "Well, Mary, I just wanted to check on you. You're one of our own girls." So Rick, he calls me, I'm in Iowa, and he says, "Mary, before she died, Harriet told me, wrote down that her quilt to ask you about it, if you want it. And if you want to take a look at it, then her niece or her, somebody, the person who's going to be dealing with all of her stuff is going to be around for the next few weeks, the next month or so, a couple months probably, to deal with everything. And if you want to go, just go up to her unit and knock on the door or just leave a note, whatever, and you can take a look, okay? Because it's yours if you want it." And I was like, wow, oh my God, So yesterday, I went upstairs, and Steph's the only soul who's seen it, because Eric's out of town right now. Eric, if you're watching, I haven't even talked to you about this. So I'm going to show you the quilt, and you all, and I'm going to tell you who this woman was, okay? And what you should know is that, well, you know better than anybody that, we all have our favorite quilts, and it's like, we see so many. If you watch the show regularly, we see so many. It's like, if you have a few favorites, and I'm talking like 10, you can't have one favorite or two favorites. Come on, we know too much. You probably got 10 favorites, maybe 20 favorites, and that's good to have that many. Of course you do. But like, this is the quilt that's now hanging in my house is one of my favorite quilts I've ever seen, and it came into my life yesterday through this person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the quilt where it is in my apartment. And it was hanging on the entryway, and we have the same layout because it's 3 floors up. So she had hung it in the entryway of her unit. And when I walked into the unit, I saw it, and it's a crazy quilt, and they're not my favorite usually. And so I was like, wow, like, I can't believe that's wonderful. I would love to give this a place, but I didn't really look at it. I didn't really look at it like we're going to look at it tonight. I didn't look at it until I hung it up on my wall at home. And here, this is the quilt. This is my house, okay? It's a mess. Don't worry about it. Mind your business. I know this woman who's like a hillbilly from West Virginia, and she's like, mind your business. So my table's a mess. Mind your business. Hey, Squirrel Ghost. Thanks for following.
Mary, can I,
yes, please.
Get deeply into looking at it, if I could interject something,
please.
Because I often hear from people that are like, "Oh, this person like just dismissed me, or doesn't think of me anymore, or." I guess I didn't make an impression on them, whatever. Mm-hmm. And, I think this is a perfect example of meeting somebody and you made an impression on her. And for whatever reason, she was not able to connect with you again, because of her own illness probably, and COVID, and your travel, and all that stuff. But you were on her mind. And, it sounds like it's not like she left this to you at her will, but
no,
she knew that time was dwindling.
Yes.
And so she left instructions for this to go to you. And I think that's so amazing.
Yeah. It is.
Just from one meeting with somebody that you stayed on her mind, but she just did not have the ability to reach out. And I think that's sometimes good to keep that in mind.
Steph, that is very, very important, right? Because, like, there's connections that Yeah, like people do make an impression on you, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be their best friend for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's a good point. A friend of mine, my friend Joe, said the same thing. He was like, that's cool. Like that, you know, you had that conversation and it made a difference, you know? So yeah, good. So, by the way, Dee Dee, just as you were beginning what you were saying, Dee Dee said she has the same Kleenex box. Oh, and it reminds me, Myra, you tried to use the turnip of hope emoji, okay? And you said you tried the shortcut and it didn't work. Now, let me tell you. So what I do in the chat, if I want to use an emote or an emoji, I type a colon, and then I just start writing the emoji. So if I type a colon, no space, and then I do TUR, I get a little selection, and I can click down and click turnip of hope. And if you're new here, you know, you're just like, what is this turnip thing? It's just stick around, you'll understand. But these little fun emojis are fun to use in the chat. But if you just hit a colon and TU, you should come up with it pretty quickly. That's my little shortcut tip. Anyway, glad I remembered that because I forgot. Okay. So while you're enjoying the lovely, okay. So while you're enjoying this lovely scene of my messy dining room, which I love. I don't care if it's a mess. I love it. I'll tell you who this person was, okay? So this is the Chicago Tribune obituary for her. I didn't know this about her. Rick Cogan, the great Rick Cogan of the Chicago Tribune, wrote this about Harriet Choice. That was her name, Harriet Choice. And I mean, I just have to say, there's so many of these in this story. I mean, Harriet, right? Harriet Powers. I'm sorry, like one of the most powerful quilts has ever made. I'm just saying, like, I know her name could be many different names. So we'd be like, you know, it's like Bertha, you know, but Harriet Choice, okay? She was 82. Here's the headline for her obituary. An appreciation. Pioneering female journalist and jazz critic, Harriet Choice, has died at 82. Thousands of people knew Harriet Rosenfeld Choice by the words she wrote for this newspaper, decades worth of her enthusiastic and influential coverage of the jazz scene, which compelled her to be one of the founders in 1969 of the Jazz Institute of Chicago. Kidding me? Oh, no. The Jazz Institute of Chicago, a nonprofit organization. Sorry, my camera didn't like it when I did that. Okay. Dedicated to nurturing and preserving jazz in all its forms. Choice, who had been dealing with heart troubles, died Wednesday at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. A friend was with her, holding her hand. Choice was born in Chicago. When the Jazz Journalists Association awarded Choice the Jazz Hero Award in 2020, her friend, esteemed jazz critic and writer Neil Tesser observed, Harriet's love affair with jazz started in her teen years, thrived as she brought it into her professional journalism, and blossomed further through the kind of activism that supports and enriches the art form. She was born in Chicago to Leroy and Idle Rosenfeld. She went to the University of Oklahoma. There's my Oklahoma peeps, Susan and Lisa, right? She was married to a man named Donald Choice for a moment. And then, so listen to this. Okay, so in Jazz Lives, just a moment more, okay, about her life, and then we're going to look at this quilt, which I'm telling you is one of the most remarkable quilts I've ever seen. We're going to look at what's written in this quilt, the stitches in this quilt, and the messages in this quilt. I promise you. But we have to give credit to Harriet. We have to appreciate her for a moment before we do that. It's the least we can do. And by the way, there was a bookshelf, or just like a shelf, right, in her apartment. And Rick said to me while I was there, he said, these are, knickknacks and things. And the niece, or I don't think it's her daughter, I don't know, the person who's dealing with all the things said that, you know, if you want any of those little things, then you can feel free to take them. And so I picked a few things, including this little guy, and I took a video of him. He's a little antique toy, and he walks. And so I took a video, and I'll show you. But also on that shelf were those candles. Those are my candle holders, but they were Harriet's candles, and there was a passel of them. And I said, you know, can I take these? And he said yes, and so I did. And so when I got home, I put them in and I burned them for her, right? So this is the moment where we appreciate her. And when I took these pictures, I burned those candles for her, because this quilt is now not just a part of my life, but a part of all of our lives. Okay, so this is by Michael Steinman. It's from the blog Jazz Lives, or Jazz Lives, okay? And the subtitle for his blog is "May Your Happiness Increase." Lives, in quote, is both noun and verb. And that's true. It's lives or lives, right? It's great. So Michael Steinman writes, "The clock ticks on. Others have written already about her making the Jazz Institute of Chicago a reality, her pioneering jazz advocacy for the Chicago Tribune, her travel writing, and a full tribute to her needs to be written. I was only one of Harriet's many friends, and I came late to the party. She found me in 2012 because of our mutual love of the Chicago clarinetist Frank Chase, and I have 400 plus emails to prove it. We spoke on the phone most recently on June 14th, so those are my bona fides. But this is not a competition to be the one who knew her best. That honor would fall to Dan Morgenstern, who no doubt will have his own beautiful evocation. Harriet and I were, and he says it's hard not to write R, like Harriet and I are friends. Harriet and I were enthusiasts, acolytes, hero worshipers. So our phone conversations, which I am sorry I did not record, at least one as a sample, would begin with her identifying herself in her up and down musical voice, even though the 312 area code and her name had already done the job. Then she might ask a question about some record or jazz luminary, even an obscure one, and I didn't mind being a portable encyclopedia. She might relate some incident her much-loved but reasonably untrainable dog, Mags, had precipitated. And there's a picture of him! Yay! She might speak of some Chicago gig she'd been to. And then he lists, like, so many jazz musicians that, like, seem extremely cool and awesome, and I have no idea who any of them are. I'm not going to do that part. When I could get a moment, I'd ask about her health, which was never all that good in the years I knew her, but she didn't dwell on her problems. From Harriet, however, I learned that what one's ejection fraction was and what it meant. And the medical conversation would always loop around to dogs, and she would remind me that she preferred doctors who had dogs they loved. Her Judaism was important to her. She was a serious, often indignant leftist in politics, and she grew irate if there had been a news story where animals were ill-treated. He talks about jazz stuff, and here I'll put this here. Harriet's friends accepted her as affectionate and imperiousness as part of the package. Put bluntly, she was bossy. I could tell that, by the way, when I met her. And with me, it took the form of call after call, hearing her tell me over my protest that my blog pieces should be a book. It should be a book. She was gracious. She'd ask how my wife was faring, or before that, how my last online date had gone. I will miss her, and I know I am not alone. Harriet was never maudlin, so I won't play her out with sad blues. Harriet always swung. Okay. So, thank you for that. So I'm looking at this thing up on my wall. You want to see some close-ups? Yeah, me too. Okay. I thought tonight would be easy to get ready for because all I did was like, I took all of these close-ups. Just a second, just give me 1 second. I took so many close-ups of the quilt, but actually sort of organizing them exactly right turned out to be difficult. Here's what this quilt has on it. This quilt has messages on it, and I guess the theme of it is signs of the times. Do you see that there? Do you see how that's written in that block? Signs of the times. Signs of the times. It appears again. Signs of the times. I can turn it around. Let's turn it, rotate canvas counterclockwise.
Hey Mary, did
yes.
you say that this quilt has been, like it's been restored, or not restored, but it's been conserved?
Yep.
It's got the netting and stuff.
Yep, there's netting.
Yeah,
not
so
on all of it, but on this, yeah.
The places that have got, shredded stuff may
Yes.
have some netting.
Exactly. There's netting on portions of it, including this portion, and but not on all of it. And I can see that it needs to be there. Now, one of the questions you asked, Steph, and my friend asked us as well is, you know, did she make it? Well, my friend asked, did she make it? And I said, definitely not. There are many dates on this quilt, as we will see. One of the dates, as we will see, says 1934, which will be important later when we talk what we talked about. You'll see, but she definitely didn't make it. I feel like she bought it. I feel like this quilt is so interesting and unusual that it was sold by a dealer. That's all. Or she found it in an antique mall. But you'll see. So what Steph said before the show was like, I can't wait to hear what the nerds have to say. Same. Like, anything you have to say, I'm in. First of all, I mean, there's a patch that just says love. Now, this is not totally wild for a crazy quilt. These things show up in a crazy quilt. But all of these blocks, each one has remarkable things, okay? So signs of the times. Now, what's also strange about this, and we want to look at the quilt, we've been talking a lot tonight, but that's what the show is. That's what the show is. We talk, we chat, whatever. I've been down, you know? I've been down, been struggling, you know? I've been on the struggle bus a little bit. And Eric and I were talking, and he's like, you know, listen to some music that'll really perk you up. And I was like, that's a good idea. Prince, of course. You know, and I didn't listen to Purple Rain. That's not going to help. But one of my favorite Prince songs is Sign of the Times. And it's crazy because, like, I'm not woo-woo. I'm just saying that literally the Prince song Sign of the Times has been in my mind for the past month. Anyway, so as I was looking at the quilt, I played it. What can I say? I lit the candles, I listened to Prince, and I'm examining this quilt. And that's what we're doing now. So Signs of the Times. Signs of the Times. Okay. So, Pacific Union Recorder, I don't know exactly. Pacific Union is a railroad, but what what this says here, this says Motion Pictures in 1895. That's what that says. Elsewhere in the quilt, as what we will see shortly, is patches that say photography in 35 or something. There are and oh my God, see, this is the moment where I'm like, later I'm embarrassed because someone will come along and be like, this was a totally standard crazy quilt, like people did this seriously. I mean, like, because I don't know, but it's a revelation to see it. I've never seen it before.
You know, I don't know, should I reveal my theory about
Please, definitely. Hold on, let me find, yeah.
On one hand,
Here,
I
this.
could absolutely see, you know, somebody made this quilt and made it this way. I feel that some of the stitching, particularly these ones that are thematic, about, you know, Reaper and Mower, 1834.
Right,
Steam
and I'm going to
printing
turn
press,
this around.
I feel like those were added much later. Maybe
interesting.
Before the conservation. I feel like they were not there at the same time the quilt was made. There are some other things that do look like they were probably contemporaneous with the quilt.
Yep.
And so my what I wonder is, I mean, I would I mean, I would really love to know, like, what's the story of her getting this quilt?
Yes, right. I know.
Did she buy it from an artist? Did she buy it from a,
I know. I mean, and that's what sucks, is that we never got to talk about it, And so I'm going to ask the person who's dealing with all of her things if she knows anything. But I mean, so here we have another one. I skipped to a different photo because I wanted to show you what I'm talking about. Look, steam printing press in 1803. Reaper and mower in 1834. Thank you, M. Hicks, exactly. These are dates for inventions. Okay, and Word and Bird Nerd, right there.
That's what I do. I invented Post-its.
You said Pacific Union Recorder is a publication of Seventh-day Adventist. Okay, that's very interesting, Word and Bird Nerd, because, hey, Bridgewater, because there are Stars of David on this quilt in several places. Oh, there's so many blocks. We just have to look. And also I told Steph, I was like, I think this is the whole show, but I do have a video on deck in case it's not. But, like, I think I can tell, like, this is what we're talking about tonight. So, steam printing press. And Steph, pipe in whenever you want. Like,
seriously, Mary, I'm like, get to the block with the blah, blah, blah.
I know.
And I'm like, there's so many of them.
What is this?
Pictures, and I looked and I'm like, what in the heck?
What is
this?
I mean, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, oh my God, the portal, what does it mean?
Right? Yeah, I thought that too. I'm like, what is this?
What does it mean? But there's even more. Okay, so then there's Edna. So we've got a name. Look, okay. I mean,
the one that's sort of cursive-y. That, to me, reads like that cursive-y one, whatever that says.
Yeah, well, okay, sorry. Everything is very difficult. Hold on. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Everything's on the same
oh my God.
direction or the same, yeah.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Just look at this. It's kind of amazing we can do any of this, so I appreciate you. Here we go. I just need to rotate it. Oh my God, look away. If you get motion sick, I'm so sorry. I do, so I get it. Look at this. Please be still. And I know that could be sort of biblical. I understand it could be sort of a faith thing, but we've all seen. Oh, and look at this. You have to kind of turn your head. Twilight or dawn.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one too. Like, and the portal. Like,
I know. It's so wild. And the thing is, we've all seen the super Christian, evangelical-y, Calvinistic things. This is not that. If it was, I wouldn't be so into it. Because it's just not my jam. It's totally fine. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's totally fine. We're down with everything, most everything here. So, like, it's fine. But I'm
not gonna say I'm an expert on crazy quilts, but I like crazy quilts.
Yes, that's
right.
I
have some that are in horrific condition, but I love looking at them, and I love looking at books with them, and I've never seen anything quite like this.
Same. And you've seen more than I have.
Extra.
It's extra. And look at what this says. Now, this is very rotted, but I can see it. Photography. It says, if I zoom out, actually, it might, no. Okay. It says photography in 18 something. Now it says photography elsewhere. Okay, so we can see it again, but this, and I thought maybe it said phonograph, but no, it says photography in 18 something, okay? So, and then you've got the steam printing press in 1803, and reaper and mower 1834, okay? Fascinating. But wait, it gets better, okay? Hold on. I mean, I took so many pictures. Okay, no, I mean, that's beautiful, but hold on, just hang on. We're going to look at all of them. But there's okay, that's crazy. Hold on. Sorry, I just got so many, you guys. I want to show you something. I want to show you one of these that is just so intense that it's a lot. Like, it's kind of a lot. Just a minute. Here. Okay. Did I get it here? Yeah, okay. So,
the other thing that I kind of considered as you were showing me this earlier was there's this one I think is really indicative of like the stitching I feel like may have been added later, just because it's that very like the person just kind of using a back stitch. It's not. I mean, I don't want to say it's like not good, but it's like it's a person who probably just doesn't do a lot of embroidery stitches because
right.
Write the words,
Yes.
not make it fancy looking. But I kind of wondered like maybe it was a group project.
Yes, I agree.
There are some like quote unquote handwriting
Yep.
that looks different.
Yep.
But maybe that's the stuff that was already there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other stitching it seems like an artist or somebody who is trying to like say something. I don't quite know what it is though.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. I feel like, and I've got a picture of the back of the quilt, and of course it was, patch by patch or potholder style or, foundation piece, whatever. But I agree, Steph, because I feel like it keeps coming to my mind. I should say it out loud. There's something, and when I say hipster, like I just picture a group of youngish people actually doing this because of some of the stuff that's on here. There are little funny like doodles, basically, of like little suns with faces. We'll see them in a minute. And look, I mean, did like a 75-year-old man, sit down and write "A sick world is there a cure"? Definitely possible. A 75-year-old man might be like, that's the message I want to send. Or is it a 20-something searching, right, for something? And then there's this group quilt that they're doing, or their friend is like, let's do a quilt. I don't know. But this feels like a young person searching. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. It feels like that energy to me.
I do see what you're saying. It's that sort of existentialist. Like,
yes.
I'm asking a lot of questions.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I could also see this being, and I don't want to put it in the category of like, a person with mental illness who just went like crazy stitching stuff all over the place. But like a person or group of people that have like they have a story or conversation they're having.
Yeah.
And we're only like getting snippets of it is kind of why I'm looking at this.
Yep.
I mean, bewildered.
Bewildered.
It's right next to Easter.
I know. Bewildered. Period.
A sick world. Is there a tourist right next to 1934? Like, it's just so strange to me. There's got to be like we're missing some of the story.
Yes, I agree with you. And by the way, Kenny, thank you so much. You gifted a tier 1 sub to Eva. Eva, I'm going to eat a chip in your honor. Kenny, thank you so much. You are the best. Yeah, well, that was loud. That's a loud duck sound for you. Kenny, God bless you. God bless you, Kenny. I mailed a few more thank you notes out today. Feeling very good about that. I'm trying to do my best. I have many people to thank. Kenny, you're such a friend to this show. Thank you so much. Eva, take those emotes out for a spin. They're a good time. Sewing Karen says, so many styles of writing. It's so true. I mean, peace. Like, oh man, those chips are really good. Yeah, peace. There are patches that say love. And those, that sounds pretty standard for a quilt, of this kind. But there's something else here, and that 1934, let me rotate again.
Now, see, 1934. Yeah. Now, okay. So first of all, a crazy quilt in 1934 would be not as common. Not to say that people weren't still doing them.
No, you're absolutely.
Like
oh my God, of
but
course.
It would not be as common. However, that 1934 almost looks like it belongs with the quilt, whereas this other stitching in that block does not.
Yes. Oh my God, you're so good. Okay, and you know what stuff is that when I was at the Quilt Museum last month or whatever. Yeah, July. They have an exhibit of Miami Valley in Ohio quilts, and the exact thing happened where I looked at one of the quilts and I asked one of the curators, I was like, "That says 1870," and they're like, "Yes, but that's not when it was made." I mean, and I even forget like at this very moment like what the deal was, but like somebody like repaired it and thought it was, like it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, exactly. And, a few people have asked, and I kind of wonder this too, and you touched on the back of it, but does any of this stuff go through to the back?
Yes.
Also, are any of the places where the netting has been added, is the netting always over the stitching? Like, is there any stitching that goes through the netting? I feel like that could be a clue too, because I did notice that some of this we'll call it the newer looking stitching.
Yes.
Seemed like it was behind netting, like it wasn't through the netting.
Wow. Okay. Hang on. Let me.
I think it might have been the first block you showed us. I kind of noticed that, and I wasn't sure.
Interesting. Okay, I'll go back and look. I took so many pictures that it's hard to find. And like I was trying to label them, and I was like, I can't. Like it was like row 1, block 2, and it came in yesterday, so like I need to organize all my photographs, but that's a good question. Yeah, go ahead, Steph. Yeah.
Yeah, Jill says this quilt needs to be charted, and I agree.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so, okay, is that Hebrew? That's Hebrew, right? Like the stitching, right? I mean, that looks like, okay, maybe not. But, okay, the new world, hang on. I think I just figured out the shortcut to rotating the thing, which is kind of amazing. Just give me 1 second. I'm running like...
I think that's I think
no, you're right.
Stitching...
Yeah,
it's a bad attempt at some of the other stitching that's there. But I see what you mean. It does have that kind of blocky letters that Hebrew tends to have. But maybe we should mention this because I know there are folks here that are Jewish. And they can maybe help us with this. There are Stars of David on this quilt.
Yes.
There is also, and I can't remember exactly what it said, Mary. It's something.
I think it said political Zionism. I think that's what it says.
Political Zionism.
Right.
And yes. So my question to folks that are Jewish and or know more about this than I do.
Right.
Typically, when you call somebody a Zionist, you're talking about people that are pro-Israel. And possibly like on the side of Israel in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Am I correct about that, or am I getting that wrong? Is my question.
It's a good idea.
And when Mary and I talked about that, so you've got that phrase.
Yep.
You've got Stars of David, and then you have dates like 1934.
Right.
1934 and the concept of Israel don't jive with each other.
Exactly. So yeah, and I got to go to that block that says political Zionism because like when we were talking about it, you were like 1934. That's pre-World War II, and then I was like, wait, when were the Dayton Accords? Like that was like not involved at all. So like but the history of Israel, like I think. Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, I mean Israel was established.
48.
So with dates and
I know.
things,
No, me too.
Yeah,
48.
I mean,
48.
It was during Nuremberg trial, like all that stuff. The Nuremberg trials, there was the other lawsuit or trials that happened. And that, yeah. So 1934 is way too early for that concept.
Right.
But that's what tells me, like, it's the dates on here and our concept of when the things were made. There's so many different like threads to follow here. There really are, and so we're gonna I gotta show the Stars of David. I gotta show the political Zionism block, and there's just in every block there's so many things to show. So let me just show you this before we go on. I mean, like I gotta find that picture. Like there's so much, and thank you for like bearing with me as I pull things up. So rotate canvas 90 degrees clockwise. Look at this. So I can rotate it again, but it might not help. Like wash, like do you see like they've represented like the wash tub? It's just like this quilt is charming and mysterious, and then it's strange, and it's not disturbing, but I mean a sick world, is there a cure? Like it's a little disturbing, you know. And then like here's our motion pictures, you know, our timeline thing is really interesting, and there's more of that too, by the way. These little symbols, and who said Seventh-day Adventist? That's interesting. Like what's that about? Horseshoes, right? Good luck horseshoes. Yeah, so the Pacific Union Recorder.
Yeah,
Pacific Union is a railway, but the Pacific Union Recorder is a newspaper.
So crazy. This says Goodwill News, but then over here, and I gotta tell you, it's freaking me out. Hang on. Well, this 100 or 001, it's crazy because I think I've turned this now where this reads 100, but as it's hanging, the way it's hanging, the way Harriet had it hanging, it reads 001, which is interesting because that's like binary code or something, or at least it looked like that to me. But look, this says news. That says Herald, I believe, and that says school. So like this quilt, like, in so many ways, like, it represents everything I value. Also, the word magazine, the word on its own, the word magazine is in a patch. I love magazine. I'm not trying to make it, it's just that this is some, like, it's heavy, man. It's heavy in the best way. I'm so glad that I can give this thing a good home. You saw it hanging in my dining room. And I love to cook. And last night I lit those candles. I hung up the thing, and it wasn't like some weird, like, thing. But I was just like, Harriet, thank you. And I lit the candles and I hung the thing, and I looked at every inch, and I was like, my mouth was hanging open. And then I had a chicken from Costco. Okay, I got it the other day. I had a chicken, and I gotta tell you, my husband Eric, I miss you so much, baby. He has the best recipe for an Instant Pot chicken broth with those, I'm telling you, it's like peppercorns and some apple cider vinegar. Anyway, I had to process the chicken carcass. So my point is, the whole house smelled amazing, right? And I was like, Harriet, this quilt is gonna hang in this dining room, and I make good food. I make good food, girl, and your quilt is safe. It's safe, man. This quilt is special, and I'm gonna keep it safe, and there's gonna be good meals. Sit right here at this table. We're gonna have good meals together. And you know, I get it, right? I get it. So let's take signs of the times. Okay, look, the Holy Bible Book Divine. The Holy Bible Book Divine. Okay, hang on. There's but wait, there's more. Hang on now. Just give me a second. Oh yeah, here's new stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it was like, oh. I don't know if it's a Bible thing. To me, it's not. Come to my arms. Come to my arms. This, to me, this is a lover speaking. It might be a religious thing, but I don't think so. Contextual.
Well, but you know, in this one, can you zoom out a little bit on this one so I can see?
Yes. Let me play this. Yes.
This one, like, there's a theme to this blog almost, like
yeah.
faith. Come to my heart. Like, I mean, it feels like this purity.
Yes.
But then,
yeah. What is that, right? Like, excuse me? Like, get off me? No, but really though, I mean, charity is really kind of the only one that doesn't fit. Like, this seems like fidelity. Like, come to my arms, faith, purity, like, I'll save myself for you, my love, fair enough, that's cool. Like, if you're into that, like, I'm totally down. But like, it seems, it doesn't seem like super Christian-y. Like, we've seen those quilts. They're very clear.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily getting, like, and so Sherlock helped me understand, I guess, the concept of political Zionism.
Oh yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I'm listening.
And that's old. That's much older. That would go back into the 1800s as far as she remembers. But so I guess it's been applied to the situation, to Israel, but it's a general concept. So that could change things a little bit from what I originally thought. But I just feel like there's so much randomness going on here.
Exactly.
They made a big list, and they were like, okay, which piece does this fit in?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, like, I really like your Miss Walker piece. I'm gonna stick it somewhere. So here are names: Rosemary and Grace. I know I keep doing this too. I'm like this because you can spin it and it kind of makes, it makes one patch read easy and then the other one doesn't. But let me see here. Hang on. I got that shortcut. Okay, here's Rosemary and Grace. I haven't seen this one. Wait, look at the middle blue. The World Outlook. What? Oh, it's so cool. Like, what? And and look at this one. I did see this one. That, now you correct me if I'm wrong. Does that not say quintuplets have the floor?
Yes, I just saw that, and I'm like,
what?
Was it the Dion quintuplets? When were they born? And
I don't know even what you're
50s,
saying.
Right? When the Dion quintuplets?
No.
Oh my gosh, they were like really famous. They were I was actually looking at some dolls of them.
Really?
Because they were like, yes, 5 babies that were not, test tube babies. Like, good Lord, like that doesn't happen. So yeah, it was these 5 little girls, these 5 quintuplets, and they were so famous. 1940s or 50s.
Really?
Yeah. So that was. Yeah, I remember. I don't remember when they were around.
Yeah, you're like, hang on.
I've read things about them because they were like the darlings. They were like, during a time.
Oh, sure, it's a big story.
The world wasn't so great. They were like a media. They were like a happy story. These 5 little girls. And, yeah.
I mean, Octomom, right? Like that was that kind of story, right? Where you have a lot of kids. And Jacob Jelly's.
1934.
Okay. 1934. No, they were?
1934.
Oh my god, 1934. That's the year.
Okay. We're solving some problems here.
Oh my god. Okay, I mean, what do we play right now for that? Okay, we play this. Or maybe this.
And there was no monkey business about it either.
That's right. Emma Andres coming from the grave. Quintuplets have the floor. 1934. Dude. I love this show. This show is awesome. Quintuplets.
Oh, yeah, word bird. I don't mean that it was good for them. I mean the fact that the quintuplets were in the news was like this happy, like, oh, look at these cute little girls. Everybody's so excited. It wasn't good for them. They were basically like, it was a horrible, they were basically taken from their parents, I think.
Oh my God, really?
And like, yeah, it was like a side show almost situation. It wasn't good.
Oh no. Oh, that's terrible.
But also, I'm looking at, there's some complete names on here.
Oh, there are. Hang on. Oh, no, yeah. Edna. Yes, let me turn this around. Hang on.
And does Mrs. Walker appear about multiple times, or am I just noticing that from when you flipped the things around?
This is a good question. Let me see. Let me turn it this way. Okay, Vesta Wicker. I feel like I can hear Word and Bird Nerd scribbling. Don't. Well, no, do whatever you like. And I know you like looking stuff up. And it's so much fun. But, yeah, I mean, if you're scribbling, there's Vesta Wicker, Edna, looks like Ahmed, but Almeida, and William Arthur, F, George, something, Amy, something. I mean, you could really figure it out, right? If you look, George Allen, yeah. Amy, looks like Amy Pabst. Amy Pabst, I wish it was. I wish it were. Mrs. Walker, yeah, up there. It's just Missy Elliott. God, I really love Missy Elliott when she appears on a quilt. I wish she would. Henry Elliott, Eber Getchell, John. I mean, yeah, these are full on, like
John Aldice.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know what?
Getchell.
Yeah.
I think it's
Eben. Okay, so, I mean, so far, like, one of my favorite blocks is the one that says The Portal. Like, what? Okay, but this, though. Because, here's the thing, Steph, I'm saying this because of what you said. I talked to a woman 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, about how I was like into quilts. Like I thought they were like, it's like art and people, like it's a really good way if you want to study art and people. You look at quilts and like the whole world opens up to you. And like I'm talking to her about it. She has a quilt. She has this quilt. She passes away. And from that conversation, like you said, Steph, it meant something to her, or it made an impression on her. She passes away. The quilt comes into my hands, and now when I'm slurping chicken broth, that I make in my kitchen, which is falling apart, like I need a new counter, like it doesn't matter. Like my house has love in it, right? And now I get to sit at a dining room table and look over at this quilt, which is hanging on my dining room wall. And I'm going to show you again in case you missed it. There's the quilt, the full quilt. That's my dining room. And I'm going to sit there and eat that chicken broth. And while I do, I mean, it's not all I'm going to eat. While I do, I'm going to look over and I'm going to see that patch on this quilt that says that. Why this perplexity? I ask myself that all the time. And I encourage anyone out there to make a quilt that asks the question that you want to ask. I mean, you don't have to make a quilt from a pattern. This quilt wasn't made from a pattern. If you want to make a quilt from a pattern, that's amazing. That's great. That's great. Do what makes you happy. But this is there's something here that's, I don't know, like it's different and it's exciting. Hereditary religion, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I was about to say hereditary religion. I mean, yeah, most people are the religion they were born with.
Right.
I mean, sure, lots of people convert.
Right.
Lots of people give up religion, but most people that are religious stay with the religion they were born with. That's interesting.
I know, right? So is that like...
And is this the union? Is this the union recorder next to it again?
Oh, yes, it is. But it's a different one, isn't it? Union recorder. See, now the Seventh-day Adventist. But what's the relationship between Judaism and the Seventh-day Adventist? Because we haven't even seen that one patch
as far
yet.
as I know, none. I
And
don't know, you guys tell me, but as far as I know, I mean, Seventh-day Adventists are a type of Christian...
Adventist. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much later Christian sect that I mean, unless they have some, like, Book of Genesis, kind of...
Right.
You know, I don't know how they would have anything to do with Judaism. Something truth?
Is it what is truth? I mean, is that somebody who isn't real good at embroidery? I mean, I think maybe it is. I mean, it looks like Japanese characters, but I think it's what is truth, and maybe... I mean, it's pretty rough, but I mean... Yeah. That's what it says, right? What is truth? Quaquacat says Pontius Pilate. Wait. Yeah, and Drink Wine and So Lynn says prophetic light is interesting. Yes, it is. So that's upside down, obviously, but you can see right above it prophetic light. And then...
And what is that in the corner? Does that say Sabbath?
Sabbath, question mark. Sabbath, question mark.
Okay. So Seventh-day Adventists have a different understanding of the Sabbath than your mainstream Christians.
Really?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so they observe Sabbath on Saturday, as do
Jews.
Folk.
Oh my God.
Right? Yeah, they're both observing the same day. I didn't even think about that. I mean, considering I both know Orthodox Jews as well as Seventh-day Adventists, I should have thought about that. But yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious. When was Seventh-day Adventists, like, when did they...
Good question.
When was their church founded? I'm assuming it was in the 1800s, but I don't know.
It's a very good question. I'm gonna kind of keep going back to the quilt, like, hanging, like, just so you can see, like, because we're getting so granular on these patches, which is that's the whole point. But, like, this is the full picture, of the quilt in my apartment. Oh, and by the way, so that's a sign my mom made me for my birthday. She printed it off on a printer and I just love it. And it's just like from the printer. Those are the candles I lit for Harriet. And this rope.
I was about to say, there have been questions about your rope.
Oh, there
what
have
is
been?
The rope for?
Well, the rope is also from her. So Rick, I asked about it and he called. So I asked about the rope and she had a desk, and he said if you see anything that you would like or that would be helpful, and most of the things her people have, I went into her apartment to look at the quilt. There were these, like, the little penguin, which I'll show you a video of in just a second. I was like, oh, I love this so much, it's so wonderful, I would love to have that. And then I spied this rope, which is really a piece of art, right? It's really a piece of art. And Rick said, he said her friend made that for her. She wove it for her. She made this rope for Harriet. And let me tell you all, I've been around long enough and been paying attention long enough. I know when something's really special. This thing it's handmade rope, and it looks like that, and it's got these two leather like cords, right, binding it. I'll take more pictures of it and we'll look at it together, because it is this is a special thing. And I saw it and I said, that is so beautiful. What is that? And Rick said, a friend made it for her. She hand made it. It's rope, and she made it. And I said, and it was sitting like on a table, like on like a platter, like from her kitchen or something, you know. And I was
it
like,
looks very hairy.
It is
heavy? Like, what is it? What is it made of?
It's heavy. Like jute. It's not jute. I mean, it might be horsehair. I don't know. It feels indigenous to me. I mean, just because of the craft of it. And so I'll take more pictures of it, and I'll try to do some research on it. But basically, I said, Rick, will you ask her about this? Because I love this. And basically, I'll tell you, like, I didn't want it to go to I just wanted to keep it safe, to be perfectly honest with you, because it feels very special to me. And so he said, he asked her, the lady, about it, and it's just fine. And so now I'm going to put it in a special spot. It won't be on the table all the time, but I had just gotten back with it. I mean, it's special. That's all I can say. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Flax.
So Robin confirmed my suspicion. Seventh-day Adventists. They came together in 1863.
Oh, interesting.
They've been around for a while in 1934.
Interesting. Okay. So well, this, by the way, that is not is that a doodle? Is that somebody who just was, messing around with thread? Or it looks like a guy at a well with like a star in the sky? I mean, I'm reading into it, right? But like, come on.
There are I've noticed some other weird little thread figures as we've looked at other blocks, and I've kind of wondered, like, what are those?
Know.
Are they very primitive drawings? Do they mean something?
I know. I just don't know. So here, this might be a Seventh-day. How did you say it? Adventist? Is that how you Adventist?
Seventh-day
Adventist. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, maybe here is. But what does that say? Here is bread.
Here's bread.
Here's
which
bread.
strengthens man's heart.
Here is bread which strengthens man's heart. I mean, if that's a big Seventh-day Adventist thing, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's also like an alphabet. Hang on. There's we gotta get to. I took so many pictures, probably too many. I tried to be, careful about it to get to all this. Oh, here. Well, I mean, this is just classic, a stitch in time. But there's our sick world thing. Oh, here. Excuse me. Oh God, this is great. Okay, hang on. There's our sick world and bewildered. And there's the 1934. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So unfortunately, while we're looking at this, I'll see if I've got another picture, a better one. This says home and health. Okay, so it's curved under because there's a board on the top and a hanging sleeve, and a beam on the bottom and a hanging sleeve, which is why it's hanging so nice and straight. Okay, so I'll find a better picture because I know I took one, but this says home and health. And this, in the corner on the right lower left-hand side, says, why get ready? Which is, that's a Christ thing, right? Like a second coming thing, I guess. I mean, why get ready for dinner? Like, probably not. But then look, okay, sign of the times, again, and they have, I'll get the block that says, like, the date of the motion picture, the date of photography, like, there's more to see. But look, what is the origin of the week? I gotta plug in my phone, or Steph, what is the origin of the week? Like, that's crazy. And then, hold on. And then, wait a minute. Where's Stephanie? Okay. And then, so there's that one. And then, the end is near. Hold on. The end is near. Just a minute. Let me get to it. Yeah, here. What is the origin of the week? Sorry, get out of the way. Sign of the times. Fascinating, right?
You know, here's another thing that I didn't think about it till I saw this.
Yeah.
Is the Anir.
Right.
Sign of the times. I mean, this is almost like you see this in movies, like the kooky old guy standing on the street corner with the sandwich sign. That's like, it's a sign of the times. The end is near.
Yeah.
Have you repented?
There's a guy down on State Street. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there is an element of that. Like, there's parts of this quilt that, are like really just deeply religious, and then there's this spirituality, and then there's this existentialism with like the what does it all mean kind of thing, which is why it's just I can't get enough of it, right?
And then there's the randomness, like
the randomness,
off.
Exactly. Yeah, off, right? Like, why does one patch just say off? Like get off of me. Okay, hang on. Oh, now I got it. Hang on one second. So here. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one. This one is amazing. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. There's just so much more to show you. Yeah, electric lighting. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's in my house. I can't believe it's real. Oh, wow. Okay, here. Okay, check these out. Just a minute. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to open them with this. Open with this. Bada bing. Okay. This is just kind of weird. And I love it. And it's weird. It's very specific. Okay, there's one of our Stars of David. There's another section that has many of them. But that's not a star. I mean, it's not a star, right? Like, this is a Star of David. If you're like, I'm going to put a star on this patch, but I don't want it to look like a star. I mean, like, that's specific. Please. Right?
Yes, the Star of David is very specific. It is an easy star to make.
True.
Like, be clear about that. Is if you want to make a star, it's an easy star to make.
Right.
Like, if you don't realize it's a religious symbol.
Right.
If you're just like, let me make a star, it's easy
Right.
to make it with two triangles. But
Right.
most people, I think, would see that as, I'm guessing, would read that as a Star of David. And so,
it's intentional.
I get it. Yeah, I feel like it's intentional, but I don't know. I mean...
We don't know. But remember that the woman who had this quilt hanging in her house long enough, we know it was there for at least 4 years because she talked to me about it, or she talked to me about quilts, and she left it to me, basically. I mean, there were instructions.
She was devoutly Jewish. Right?
Exactly. That was in her obituary, right? So there's that. Oh, and check this out. That's a kind of a star shape. I mean, this is not saying that the same person worked on this block, but like, stars are possible. Like, what is this? This looks like some kind of rune, like some kind of I don't watch horror movies because I hate them, but my husband is super into them, and I'm like, I hope I didn't open a portal to like another dimension, because there is a block that says the portal on it, but like, it kind of looks like a hairy thing. I don't know, but it's very specific now, and this is kind of what makes me think it's kind of a hipster thing, because I was like, because I knew this guy named Brendan, like back when I was like in my early 20s, and he was like super cool and super great. He kept a notebook and he just like drew lots of cool stuff, and like, I just kind of felt like if a bunch of friends were together and like you had like, I just felt like somebody would be like, yeah, I just like made this, I don't know, this is like what I did, I was being creative, like I made a patch for your quilt. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so weird.
Yeah, and also that is, I don't know, when I first started looking at this, that is almost like the feeling I get from some of this.
Right.
It's like, here, pass it to the next guy.
Yes.
And you put your thing on it. I did this with a friend, had a very, I don't know how to best describe it, intercultural wedding.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They chose cultural aspects of weddings from everywhere and mashed it all up.
Yeah.
So although they are not Jewish, they had the chuppah, which is like
Yeah.
the house thing that's, over the altar when you get married.
Yeah.
And so people were embroidering all over it, just trying to put things
Oh,
on
cool.
it. And
That's awesome.
almost like what it was. It was like, okay, you come around here to this side, because we were all the women were embroidering on the same time.
I love
and some
that.
of them were people who had never threaded a needle in their life.
Right.
So you got things like
Like this. Yeah, exactly. And it's wonderful.
It's got that aspect
And it's so funny, like historians later are like, what does it mean? You know, is it a portal to another universe? They're like, I'm drunk and I'm just talking to someone who I'm trying to sleep with, and I'm just literally putting this needle in this fabric. Yeah.
I wanted this to be like a cat. You know?
Me too.
It looks a little bit more like Sputnik.
Exactly. And now here, I mean, again, you have these instances of just beauty, of just onward, right? Oh, onward, and like love and charity and come to my arms, you know? And by the way, like living for this fabric, love it so much. This is, here you can see, any of you deep quilt nerd, certainly conservationist museum people, this is netted, obviously. So this has been, oh, you know what? I just figured it out. The reason I feel like this may have been something that Harriet Choice purchased, you know, is that this quilt, actually, and it speaks to its specialness, right? Well, okay. Either she bought this quilt, it was falling apart, and she's like, you know what? I really love this thing. What am I going to do? I need to get this. But I have had so many people ask me, I have a quilt that's falling apart. What do I do with it? Like, I have a quilt that's like flaking. What do I do? And I'm like, you got to go to a conservationist. Like, you got to go to a quilt restoration expert, which I am not. So like when people take care with this, like, what are your thoughts, Steph? Like this, to me, the care taken for this netting speaks to its value. And I don't mean monetarily, I don't care, but it does say something about it, right?
That's why I kind of thought, even if all of this is contemporaneous, then yes, somebody has looked at it as this is valuable.
Right.
And the netting was added to preserve it. I can also see a quilt that for whatever reason, somebody got a hold of it. They did the conservation on it and then added to it. But so onward. Is that under the netting?
Yeah.
Really
This
can't
is.
tell when you zoom in.
Yep.
Like, I can't tell.
It's under. Yeah, but I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to answer that question, but I didn't know. You know, but yes, because if you see that wrinkle, like that wrinkle, it's harder on your screen, but I can tell that it's under. The fabric and what's on the fabric is underneath that netting.
It's definitely under the netting.
Yep,
okay.
It is. Now,
so then maybe I'm totally wrong about, you know, I mean, maybe this is all 1934, or maybe this was made in the 1800s and then somebody did all this stuff in 1934.
I know. And there's still a couple more like history, like signs of the times things that I'll show you in another block. And just so you know, again, I mean, I feel like this is important. This is the quilt. This is it hanging up. And it's like, there's more. Well, yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 40 blocks, right? And here's our signs of the times, you know. And down here, this is our a sick world. Is there a cure? And there's our 1934, right? So we're just going to keep looking at some of these blocks, because there's just a lot more that I want to ask you about.
So Robin's daughter, who obviously
and what does that say, by the way? Yes.
She said that possibly some of those strange little things were maybe like some type of sigil or something that the person created, like you know, like Nordic runes or something. They knew, or they saw. I want to make a symbol.
I'm completely down with that.
I think that a person who had some abilities could probably like create a version of it and do like a reverse image search. I'm not saying I have those skills, but I do.
Do it. Legit do it. And I'll give you all the pictures. I'll give you these so that you can post them in the Discord. By the way, subscribe to Quilt Nerd. If you think this is cool, like, it takes a lot of, you know, effort to make this show. It's as good, it's as strong and as amazing as the community. So if you want to help support the show, like, subscribe on Twitch. Twitch is great. We love it so much. And we'd love for you to support the show, because is this fun or is this fun? Oh my God. Okay, so here. So
this is 1935.
I know. Like, that doesn't help us at all.
And does this say he is coming soon?
It does say he is coming soon, which, by the way, I mean, you know, some of my best friends are Jewish. I mean, like, that's not a central thing. Like one of my favorite things about, like I love I mean, Jewish humor, the whole like Borscht Belt stuff, like it's some of my favorite comedy. And, you know, the whole joke is like, Jesus is coming, but he may tarry. I mean, that's like it's like, he's coming, but you gotta wait. Like, don't worry about it, you know, like he's gonna do it on his own time. Like, I think it's amazing. So, I mean, am I wrong? But like, that's not like so what's up with that? And what do the 7-day Adventists say? God, this quilt is cool. I'm so into it.
Yeah, like, you know, just spending this time in here, this, you know, hour and 45 so far, and you and I looked at this very briefly before, I'm just, like, I'm more confused than I was when we first started.
I know, me too, honest. And I knew it would get better when we talked to everybody about it, right?
Yeah, and, you know, Mother Nature is saying, like, kind of what I said, you know, the guy with the sandwich board, it's like the second coming, the end times. But with the Judaism in here, then that's another way of, I mean, that's a totally different philosophy on he is coming, you know?
Yep. Yep, it is. I love that you have it exactly. Sorry, every once in a while I get to respond to stuff in the chat and people are so great. Yes, Mother Nature, yes. The end times, exactly. And it said, you know, the end is near in another part of the quilt. Ooh, 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 oh, that's a beehive. That is a beehive, and that is Mason. That's Masonic. Wait a minute. Where did I see it? Hold on. Where did I see it? Where are you? You're right there. That's a beehive.
It's on the block beside this one, I think.
Okay, I gotta find the full thing. That's a beehive with bees. I mean, right? Like,
yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Oh, is it a Mason quilt?
It's two of them, though. I know that the beehive is a Masonic.
Right.
I think it's Masonic.
It
it's
is.
Oddfellows, is it? It's definitely Masonic.
Well, wait, no, Oddfellow. No. Okay, you look it up and I'll. I know, I can't either.
And if you're gonna throw in Secret Society, like Masons, like that is, I mean, you couldn't probably smash together an odder bunch than Masons, Seventh-day Adventists, and Jewish people.
And by the way, you are so right. It's the Oddfellows. It's totally the Oddfellows. Oh my God, you're gonna love this. Okay,
it is Oddfellows. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, this is so great. It's like just when I think I showed you the best block, like I didn't. Hold on. Okay. Oh wow.
I feel like there's a lot of red herrings in this quilt.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I feel like there's a central message, but there's a lot of red herrings.
Yep. But here's the thing too, and we could ask a person who really knew their fabric stuff. Oh, and I have pictures of the back, so just hang on to your hats. But like the fabrics look like they're of the same like time period. Like I mean, there's nothing that seems wildly new or you know, like they're wildly different from another. Hang on, let me find. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Precious treasures. Okay, here we go. I think this is like the last batch of political Zionism. That is really okay. Here's the okay. Computer, just like don't.
Yeah, I didn't mention it. Anybody's in the chat. If you missed, Penny Catherine has put in a bunch of like synopsis of 1934.
Oh, nice.
1935 too now.
Thanks, Penny. That's amazing. Okay, great. I opened up a new like desktop so I wouldn't crash my computer. Okay. So first of all, so this says California, and it says California 2 different places. I mean, that does say California, right? Kind of. Like, this is, like, maybe the same person who wrote, What Does It All Mean? Or whatever he said. And this, by the way, this looks kind of runish also. I'm not trying to, believe me, you know me, I'm not real woo-woo on this show. I mean, I did talk about, like, I don't know. I you know, I get a little weird sometimes, but it's not like, I'm not like trying to say like this is a rune. It's just a very interesting abstract design, and it looks like the person really wanted to put those dots where they put them. You know what I mean?
But that also goes back to this being some type of like code, or Robin has just put in here about her daughter Stephanie is talking about the runes, the meanings, and how they kind of are lining up with what she's seeing.
Really? Oh my god, I need more wine.
But,
hang on.
But then again, I mean, the beehive symbol, or I just lose this, Mother Nature, beehive symbol is used by, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Great. Hey, wait, is Druid Godmother, are you here?
Yes,
we need a Druid up in here. Babe, are you here? Usually I see you, but I wasn't looking at the chat. Druid, if you're here, we need you.
She said something about Kabbalah. There's another aspect of Judaism that's like...
And I have to make sure to show you the block that has all of the stars. That has many stars of David. Okay, we haven't seen this one yet. Look at this one. So this says love, period, which I love. Yes.
Stephanie is actually saying this definitely looks like sigil work.
Does it really? Oh my god. Are you serious? I knew it. I knew it looked like something. Babe, hi. It's so good to see you. I'm just so glad you're here. So that looks like something, right? It looks like something. It's not a doodle.
Yeah. Probably that's a sigil is like a symbol. Probably somebody could explain this better than me, but it would be something that might be used in mysticism or even like straight up magic. But I know sigils are important in it's a magical symbol. They're important in Kabbalah, I think, and then also other types of she says we will never be able to tell what it was for because it was specific to the person who created it.
That is so dope. I love this so much. It's so much fun. Yes. People come in, they don't know what we're looking at. We're looking at this quote. Okay. So, that's awesome. So then we're here. Love, okay. And then this says thee, but then it's cut off. So I don't know if that was the end of that piece, and I don't know. I'm gonna turn it around.
Can I just mention the sigil for Jupiter? So I believe it was during this time, it was somewhere during the early 30s. It was either Nancy Cabot or Nancy Page. I get them confused. One of them released a whole quilt of astrology symbols and all that stuff. So this was also time here. We've got Dion quintuplets and we've got astrology being very popular. Again, I don't know if that has any impact on this.
No, that's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. Absolutely. Because like, what do we put into our anything? We put the life we live, right? I just Googled sigil for Jupiter. I mean, this is interesting. Like, okay, hang on. Just for fun, because this is what this show can do. Because it's a live stream. You know, I've called this show a visual podcast, right? I mean, like that's what it is. Like we get to talk about stuff and also see it as we're talking about it. Like solar system symbols and meanings. This is what I Googled. Like, but it is sigilistic, that thing, right? Like it and you know, who knows? But like that's interesting. And at the time, so I was reading part of so Walt Whitman wrote, you know, the 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. That's part of this very, very, very long poem that he wrote for a friend of his. And the whole thing, it's so beautiful. It's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I was just like weeping and weeping. It's exactly what you're talking about. He puts into the poem, he's talking about his friend at his funeral, and he's talking about what science has discovered, like in his time, as he wrote it, they were learning about like nebula and the Milky Way, and it was basically, he's writing the poem about like, what does it all mean? Like, I don't know. And so that this quilt would involve some of the scientific findings or some of these questions is completely legit. That this would mean something, or that this would, right? Y'all are so good. You're so good.
I also get what Robin is saying, though, that if this truly was a lot of symbolism based on one person's feelings or a group of people's feelings, it may be impossible to ever know what they were trying to say.
Exactly. Absolutely, Robin.
So I'm picturing that this lady, Harriet.
Yes.
She got this quilt. And does that say baby?
It does say baby.
Country?
It says baby, and then it says country. And I think,
Again, the random words.
I know. I know.
So she knew somebody that knew a bunch of jazz musicians.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, let's smoke some reefer and write some weird stuff on quilts. And so they were all different religions, all different backgrounds, and they were like, man, just write whatever comes to your mind.
I love it. Here's all this antique silk.
Here's a needle, here's some thread.
Yeah, I got all this amazing, like, old school, like 1870s textiles. Let's do it. Let's just do it. I'll give you this. Yes, I would be so down if that was. And they're just trolling all of us. Like, let's make this really old-fashioned looking quilt. I mean, so yeah, country, and then there's baby up there. But then, see this patch. I mean, like, this is when I went like, as I was looking last night, you know, while my broth was simmering in my Instant Pot, because I know that this could have religious connotations. I know it could be about Jesus, but come to my arms, and I think of him. This is one of those moments where I think, you know, it has been said many times that, like, women made quilts because it was a place where people would leave us alone so we could be creative. Joe Cunningham has said this many times. You know, it's like in his lecture I saw at AQSG last year, it's like, you know, it's like women could sit down and be creative, but they were making quilts, they were doing something. So it was just like, just leave me alone, please. And you could sit, and you didn't have to cook, and you didn't have to clean, and you could make stuff. And because you were making quilts and you were being productive, people left you alone, you know? And so when I see patches like this, I think of him and come to my arms. I like to think, and I'm just, this is all speculation, and it's sentimentality or, you know, whatever, mythologizing things, I don't care. I feel like if I were making a patch and I had a crush on a boy and I was just obsessed with thoughts of him, then I could make a patch that says I think of him, and it could be totally code for you. I think of you, you know, and it seems so romantic to me that it's just like, it's just so beautiful. It's sexy. I mean, it just is to me.
You know, and that's the thing. I totally get where you're coming from, Mary, but I also see this as can also be deeply religious.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yes.
I have some close family friends who are deeply religious.
Yeah.
To the point of, like, I have lots of respect for other people's faith, but to
Sure.
the point where I'm like, have to tell them to, like, shut up.
Yeah, like you're like, can we
it's-
talk
it's a
about
lot.
these chips and they're delicious? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this, I think of him, like, that to me, I mean, it's that same sort of romanticism, but it's in religious fervor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agreed.
You
It
know,
probably
so it's
is.
almost
That's
like
probably
you can
right.
see it both ways.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, this is interesting. You just said this. Oh, grits and butter. The Voynich manuscript. This is Voynich's quilt.
So wait, say it again. I was crunching. I'm so sorry that's why I didn't hear it.
The Voynich. I think I'm saying it right. The Voynich manuscript. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's this book, and I think they did recently finally kind of figure out what it was, but it's this text. And it is so bizarre. It's written in this language that's like everybody's like, it had to be made up because it's not a language they were able to translate. It's got all these really bizarre, like, drawings and stuff in it.
Really?
It's a lot like this quilt.
Y-
You know,
interesting.
it's like, it really, not the actual pictures and stuff, because it's almost, it looks medieval, but it probably wasn't, you know, and it, for years and years and years, it was a big question, like, what
Interesting.
on earth is this book?
Huh.
And I think they did recently kind of figure out, like, what it was about, and I'm drawing a complete blank now, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like, you looked at the pictures of it, and I think they have, like, really high, whatever institution has it, they have, like, a high resolution scans of it,
Oh,
so you can
cool.
literally reach through it and be like, what on earth is this crazy thing? This quilt definitely has this vibe.
Similar vibe, yeah, where you're like, what does it mean?
Yes,
I mean, there's, in case you have just joined us, I mean, there's a patch on this quilt that says the portal. That's very huge. That's huge. Like, the
That
portal,
is strange.
it says the portal, and
Yeah.
then there's a shape that's like the shape of the portal. Like, what do you mean?
Like
By
a
the way, I
portal,
can't
yeah.
tell what this says. It looks like it says like the whirring snow, or like I can't tell what it is. It's been netted, so it's been covered, it's been conserved. I don't know. And by the way, I just glanced at the chat, and like, people are just so great. And Sherlock says that thing is
Yeah.
at Yale.
True Godmother says that going along with your sense of romanticism,
Yeah.
what's your sign? And the answer is off.
Yeah. You know what? That gets... It's brilliant. So I don't know what this says. It's really hard to tell. I'll look at it closer. I'll look at it closer. Let me.
It's the something is now.
Oh, the something is now. Nice. Okay. We've got a few more we've just got to see. Okay, I'm gonna move on, but I will, because there's so many other ones. Hang on, but I'll take a look and I'll get a closer picture if we need to see it. Here's Beverly. That's Beverly, right? I don't think we talked about that one, but she's just like, I'm like Beyonce. I just go by Beverly. Okay. This one. So that's a thing that was drawn. What is that? That's a thing. That is so a thing. I don't know what it is. It's not a beehive.
Like a hat to me.
It does look like a hat or some kind of like it looks almost like some cat. Oh God. Okay, I gotta figure out how to like run my fingers through my hair with my new haircut and not make it look like that. It looks like some kind of like a candle wicker. Like put a, you know what I mean? Like you put out a candle, a snuffer, or something. It's not. I don't think. But does anyone have any context for that?
Everybody's got an idea. A bridal veil, a spaceship, an angel. Sunlight returning to Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it kind of does go with the round one that looks like Sputnik.
Yeah, or the portal. I gotta find that. I gotta make sure we look at that one again.
Well, Jill has found a magazine which does have a 1934 issue called Portal.
What?
It is the, where is it? The Portal,
Jill?
the magazine of the Brisbane Boys College.
That's what I do.
Which I think is irrelevant,
I invented
but
Post-its.
Wow, y'all are good at you're good at Google. You're good at just your brain meats. You know what? Who said a fan? Who just said
Megan.
Ooh. Megan said a fan. Okay, a fan, that is a good, I'm going to turn it so we can look at it like a fan. And by the way, Squirrel Ghost, I am so happy to see you. There are welcome baskets. Let's get some welcome baskets in the chat for Squirrel Ghost. And you know what I'd like to thank, Squirrel Ghost? I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you said hi. And what I'm hoping is that this very exciting conversation, you're just like, I'm in the lurker lounge. I don't really chat. But like I just have I have an interpretation. Whatever it is, whatever is going on, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you said hi. You're in a real good spot on the internet. You know, there's a lot of bad places and there's fine places, you know, shoe sales. You know, it's great, but we have a good time over here. Ooh. And so a fan is a fine, that's interesting because then, oh my God, and Stephanie Cake has a fan tonight. She has a legit fan. Which,
my electric fan is not working, so I had to pull out my manual fan.
That is really odd. Like, you've never had an actual, she has a big, beautiful fan. And so this does look like that. And we have seen fans on Crazy Quilts before, right? Like that feels like a motif that we've seen. And this is oriented the same as the fan. So to me, it was like, you know, maybe this is the orientation of that block, right? Because this says devotions, I'm pretty sure. And a lot of this is protected by netting. Certainly devotions. Someone took care with this thing. Look, this is all covered in netting. You can really tell here, you know? So that's something. Now, let's go piece by piece. Okay, here. Political Zionism, look. And here's another I think of him. It stirs my heart when I look at, I think of him. I don't know. I'm romantic. I love love.
Monday, my least favorite days of the week.
You know, my least favorite day and my favorite day, Sunday and Monday. Sunday gives me a stomach ache, but Monday I love, usually. Sometimes it's very hard. But Sunday and Monday, what does that mean? That means something. I mean, I would have put, you know, Monday and Thursday. Those are my favorite. Well, I don't know, Monday, whatever. Actually, Tuesday and Saturday, the nights that Quilt Nerd is on, live on Twitch. but Sunday and Monday, what is that? It's not the Sabbath. Because Sabbath is in, if you haven't seen it, if you got to go back and watch the replay, there's a patch in this that says Sabbath ? Like, what? But here's Sunday and Monday. But here is this thing. I mean, political Zionism. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what am I looking at? But then I saw the Stars of David. I knew that it came from Harriet, who was a Jewish woman whose faith was important to her, and she was a jazz critic for like 40 years or something. Like, oh my God, this woman was like so interesting and amazing. So I'm like, well, she wouldn't have hung it in her house if it was like not cool. And even if it is not cool, there's a reason that she kept it in her house. So like, I'm gonna figure it out. It's fine. It's good. But I don't know what that means. Other than like being pro-Israel, which, you know, I mean, look, there's like a whole lot going on in this quilt, and I don't know how to interpret any of this. So it's an interesting thing. Oh, sorry. Wah, hang on. Sorry, so many screens. Okay. But that is a very, and you know, we think about like the Social Justice Sewing Academy. You know, you think about these political quilts, you know, get your politics out of my quilts. People have used textiles and quilts and covers to express themselves since it was possible to do so. And, you know, most quilts do not have a message. They're not used as vehicles for text. But some of them are, and they're fascinating when they do that. This is great. Look at this. I'm happy to have this in my house. It says wealth. Hell yeah. There's horseshoes in this quilt. I'm like, bring this good fortune into my home. I'm so grateful. So yeah, Steph, tell me, what are people saying?
I'm so curious about wealth, as you know, they're put on here, because there's all these other words like faith and was there charity, and so is wealth, is that necessarily a good thing?
Right. We don't know. Exactly. We're interpreting all of this. We're speculating about all of this. I mean, they say charity, faith, you know, wealth, love, but they also say, you know, Sabbath ? Or in this case, no. Like, here's just no. And then that one said off. Oh, and by the way, Twitch just notified me. It didn't used to, but now it does, that there's an ad break in progress. If you're seeing an ad, you're not seeing the content. So I guess what this message is to, if you subscribe, keep subscribing. Because if you're not subscribed, you're seeing an ad right now, which totally sucks, right? So if you subscribe, you don't have to see ads. Anyway.
I also have to mention pillow.
Oh yeah, pillow. And by the way, I think the ad break is on for another 60 seconds, but when it ends, I'll give that message again. Yeah, pillow. It says pillow. And hope, which is beautiful. And it says yes. Oh, so it is no. It is no, Steph, because yes. Here it says yes, and then over here it says no. So like, that's so cool. And then it says, what is it? Oh yeah, this one. I gotta ask y'all about this one. Okay. So there's hope.
And if I may call out my folks from my stream,
good night, Miss Shaw.
What yes and no refer to as the Ouija.
The Ouija. Oh my God.
Yeah, because we've been reading our unseen guest, and the Ouija board, it factors very highly into that.
You know.
But then he that keepeth sounds biblical to me, and that sounds like that's from some statement or quotation.
Yes, and it does seem like that. I need to listen to your stream. Yes. And so Ouija board, I mean, that's so crazy that and what year was that written? What year did they write that?
That was 1920, I think.
Interesting. Spiritual.
Well, I mean, not to start talking about my own thing, but
sure.
The early 20th century, late 1800s, early 1900s was a big time for spiritualism. Which was
right.
Like, you know, again, your new agey kind of concepts that were, you know, some of them were just completely fake, and others were, who knows, but
it was a thing, right? And
yeah, it was a thing. And
yes.
that's what I see when I look at that, but somebody that's not looking, thinking that way, I don't know.
And so by the way, if you just had to watch ads, like that's so annoying. We just like talked about some really cool stuff. If you subscribe, you don't have to watch ads, so it's a really good reason to do that. And Twitch notifies me now when there's an ad break going on, and I just realized like, oh no, if you watch ads, like you just miss so much cool stuff. So you should subscribe because then you don't have to worry about it. So I hope you will. And Sherlock just said, I like the taco up in the corner. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it around because I think it's upside down. It looks like a boat on the water to me. I don't know. But first of all, this says, and we just have a few more blocks to look at. Like we're over like what we usually go, but I'm so energized and I just want to look at a few more blocks. We're almost done. But there's just like a couple that are so important. He that keepeth. So that's one of the things. This says yes. Down here, no. But this, am I wrong? It says thee will not slumber. Right? You will not slumber?
Well, that could connect to pillow then, I guess.
Yes, pillow. What does it all mean? Is it a Rorschach test of a quilt? Maybe. He that keepeth. I mean, I don't know. There's your taco, Sherlock. What does it even mean? I think it's a boat. It looks like a boat. It looks like a canoe. Lord help us. We shouldn't be here all night. Okay, but here, wait. Oh, goodbye. That's not, that's fine. It's so deep. It's so deep. Whatever you think about it, whatever you interpret, you can't look at a piece of textile and see the word goodbye. You can look at anything and see the word just goodbye and not feel something.
Just to also reiterate, goodbye is also on the Ouija board.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yes, no, and goodbye are also on the Ouija board. I mean, and again, I'm looking at this through the lens of something I am currently reading.
Yeah, right.
I may not have that inclination if I wasn't currently reading that book.
Yeah.
But still.
God, if there was a backwards end, like my head would explode. I would just be like, oh, and just like it's over, Billy. Makes me think of my friend Billy. Alice Braun, maybe. Alice.
That's another
Braun?
Weird sigil in the middle. Like,
really?
That's not
Really?
Letters, is it?
Oh, wait. Well, EF. It looks like EF, right? And then
EFT?
like a.
Well, that.
But yeah,
well,
what's
that?
that?
Could be somebody's initials.
It could be, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just not your typical. Oh wait, here, this. It's not your typical crazy quilt. So this makes me deeply, deeply happy. Like when I make doodles, when I like write, or make little pictures, they look like this. Like every little smile, like every little face I ever draw has like a flat line. For a smile, it's just like, So it's perfect. And it's so funny. It's so funny. One of the things I love about quilts so much, like with text or drawing or whatever, it's like people are the same. They draw like funny little faces and they look the same. They look the same as we draw today because people are the same. We don't change. Really. Not really. And this, what is that? Stuff? It looks like stuff, but ST stuff? It is stuff. Is it? No. What is it?
That's an E, isn't it? I think that's an
E. It
E.
is. It's an E. It's an E.
Stew or stewy?
Yeah.
Or stew? Oh, no, wait a minute. Is that the bottom of an E or is that an F with a period? I can't tell.
I swear, I think it's an E. I do. Because I think that's like part of the embroidery, right? I really wish it said stuff, like STUF. Stuff. There's another, that looks like maybe a dandelion or a flower. Oh man. Oh god, okay. So how'd we do? Oh yeah. Here you go.
So what's the N and the X beside that flower thing?
I don't know. I don't know. And then here, here's another fun little Look at that little funny guy. Oh, wait. Does that say something? Does that say 18 something? Is there something, hold on, is there something in the sun? It does, it looks like 18, yes.
1897?
It does say that. It does say that. It's not a face. It's an 8, it says 1807. God help us. I think that's just decorative, this little thing. Like, that doesn't necessarily look like anything, but it looked like a face at first. Yes, Polly, it did. Hey, Yakamo. Ooh, he that keepeth Israel, 1897. Oh, that's interesting. 1897, he who keepeth Israel. That sounds very important. Oh, man. Okay, I've got just a couple more here. Yeah, this is, I mean, here's our Oddfellows stuff, but A Stitch in Time. Gotta have that. I mean, that's beautiful. That looks sort of rune-like. Okay. And then here's this is Oddfellows. Come on. Those are beehives. Those are beehives with bees. It's gotta be. And you were right, Steph. I was like, is it Mason? No, it's not. It's Oddfellows, right? Which, well... You know, there were black male Oddfellows groups. That was a thing. It was like part of the story, like a big part of the story. Mm-hmm. This is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Oddfellows is something that's been on my list of like things I want to know more about forever.
Put it on deck, man. I mean, I would love to know more and just like deeply about that. No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling they might just be beehives. Everyone is feeling they could just be beehives.
Yeah, great. Hey, listen, I'm down. Like, I'm super into it. Okay, here's our runes. Okay. So, y'all, I mean, I think that's it. Like, there's so many pictures. I took all of the pictures that I could possibly take. This is the woman who had this quilt hanging in her place. And from the look of her place, like, it was there for a while. She had this a long time. I could just tell. She wasn't, in the past 10 years, was she really adding a lot to her home? No. I mean, this quilt was hanging in her place for like a long time. Decades. I would say decades. And it will now be hanging in my house for decades. And those are her candles. And I'm very grateful to her. And I believe it was Dee Dee or M. Hicks who said you have the same Kleenex box, which I love. Harriet, you are incredible. You were a jazz critic. You spent your life in jazz clubs and in like recording studios, and you were in love with this man who you were with a very long time. And you're beautiful, and you died, and I have your quilt, and I don't just have it. This whole group of people have it now because we're all talking about it. And you never would have guessed in a million zillion years, that one day this quilt would be on the internet, like live, like we're talking about it live. It was in your home, but it's going to be in really good hands, and it's so much fun. And for the rest of my life, and believe me, like, and you know what, also one other thing, when I die, I hope that the same thing happens, that like people come through and take things that they want. That would be the coolest thing in the world. Oh, I know how to end the show with the penguin. I'll show the little video of the penguin. This little penguin, I've got it queued up. It's ready to go. I know we're going late tonight. We haven't gone late in a little while, but it's cool, right, Steph? Like, enjoying this thing together, you know?
This is Quilt Nerd, like, in its rarest form. Like, this
really,
this
this
is what we do.
is what we do. I mean, it's like, yeah, this is hot. This is hot stuff. Okay, so here is the little guy. Here we go. So I'm going to pull this up right here. I took video of this little fellow, okay? And here he is. So remember, there was a little shelf full of, knickknacks seems a little bit, I don't love that. But he's this little guy here. Let me. Okay. Let me just. Can I? What? Hold on. Nope. Okay. Can you see? You can see him. So because he moves. He's a little penguin, and he's only got one eye painted on. And when I looked at him, I thought, oh, he's missing an eye. But no. He just has one eye. And this is 55 seconds of me trying to get him to walk because he walks. Okay, let's take a look. So this was Harriet's, and I gave this penguin a home, and he's very special, and he will be in my house, very, very special together with me. Okay.
Well, look at this little scamper.
Yeah, he's a scamper.
What are you doing? What are you up to? You're great. Look at you. Okay. You want to show him what you can do? You ready?
He walks, you guys, watch. But I don't know how to do it.
Come on. I don't know how you work. Okay. Come on. Do you go like... Oh, sorry. Do you go like that? Yeah. Come on.
He does it by the end, don't worry.
Come on, you can do it. No.
You see?
There you go.
He started to do it. So, okay, he's gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay, maybe somebody can tell me how to... Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, look at this little scam.
It's like a side-to-side wobble, isn't it?
Yes. So it's like, but I'm so afraid because he's pretty old. But like, if you put him just, to the side. Oh yeah, that's it. You put him to the side. Oh, he's doing it. Oh my God. He's walking and walking. Oh my God. When you do it to the side, he goes and goes and goes. Oh wow. Oh my God. That's so great. Okay, I'll do another video of him because that's incredible. Thank you.
We'll put a video in Disco.
We will because that's it. You move it to the side and he almost walked off the desk. Amazing. So that is the show. Grover, hi. He needs a Quilt Nerd sweater. Approved. That's a great idea. Oh, a penguin in a sweater. I like that idea very much. Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming to the show. It was such a good time. I just love you so much. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Well, the lighting's all messed up. I don't care. I'll just get small and no one will notice. Okay. Love you so much. Stephanie Cake, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who subscribes to the show and watches the show. We'll see you later. Anything, Cake? Anything? Final words, thoughts?
Join me on Thursday, you guys, if you want some more stuff. It's going to be an odd show on Thursday. I'm not going to be doing my usual thing, but yeah, I read books to you.
Stephanie reads quilt books at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Wait, no, 2 p.m. Eastern.
It's 2 p.m. Eastern, Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays.
So next Monday, Thursday.
Mondays and Thursdays, tune in 2 p.m. Eastern to hear quilt books. I will be there tomorrow at 1 p.m. my time, Central. That's Thursday. Yeah. And
Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, but yeah, Thursday.
Oh yeah, because it's Tuesday. So I will be there, and I will be there on Thursday, and follow her show. It's Stephanie Cake here on Twitch, and what else was I gonna say? There's something else. Oh, can you put your link to the Dunton? To the Dunton stuff? Oh,
yeah, Eva already, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
It's out there.
And what I was going to say is I'm sorry we didn't do a cake break, but I mean, we were just like...
That's okay. This was so good.
It was fun. It was really,
good.
really fun. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Cake. I'll see you soon. Take care. And yeah, talk about quilts. You never know what's going to happen. I met this lady one time, and look what happened, Way cool. All right. Love y'all so much. Take care. Thanks, Mama Llama. You subscribed to Tier 1. You've been subscribed for 14 months.